Hi friends, who are the best legends for solo queue ranked on World's Edge in Apex Legends Season 13? I put out a poll on YouTube and I'm going to give the top 5 answers based on your votes in the poll. But do let me know your best legend for solo queuing in the comments down below. So starting with the 5th most voted for legend, and this is Loba. Actually Loba wasn't in the original poll, but she had the most mentions in the comments, so I had to include her in 5th place. And to be honest, if this was my personal opinion, I would put Loba in 1st, but that's only because she's my main and I play best as her. However, going off what you voted for, 5th place seems about fair, and I can understand why. Let's not forget, she was even picked in the ALGS Championships last weekend, which shows you that she must have some use if the pros are picking her. From a personal point of view, I think she gives great versatility as a solo player. You get the speed and movement of her tactical, plus you can direct your looting with her passive, and even jump in ahead of your random teammates to get the better loot. Because you know, when you're solo queuing, no doubt your random teammates will just run ahead of you and steal the best body shield, even if you're the one that saw it first. Of course, Loba's ultimate is also a super useful tool, and I find it's even more useful for solo play because sometimes it can be hard to get good loot if you're trying to also stick with your random teammates who you might not actually be talking to. And perhaps the reason Loba wasn't voted for more is due to the bugs that she's had this season where her tactical doesn't always work. Although, having said that, I hear a fix for this is coming very soon. Moving on to 4th place, and we've got Octane. 3 to 4 seasons ago, Octane was potentially top of this list, but since then he's dropped a little bit over the last few seasons. And to be honest, I thought Ash might just edge it ahead of Octane, but nope, Octane has got enough votes to put him in 4th place. And I think that's because Octane gives you speed in a way not many other legends can. The kind of speed that Octane gives you is just so important for solo queuing, because often you'll get more situations where you have 0 brain cell randoms that get themselves killed and you need to speed away just to survive. On the flip side of that, Octane's speed is also useful if you need to get to your teammates quickly to help them. Again, when you're solo queuing, you don't always have the best comms, and in fact a lot of solo queue players don't even talk to each other, and therefore you need to be a lot more reactive to what your teammates are doing because you don't really know what they're going to do ahead of time. And so having the speed that Octane has to be able to quickly group up your teammates if they need help and your support can actually be quite useful in gaining more RP. Let's move on to 3rd place, and we've got Horizon. She's been making a bit of a comeback in recent seasons, and I would say she's a really great varied legend to pick this season, because she's got a good balance between team play with her ultimate and solo individual use with her tactical and passive, although her tactical can be useful for the team as well. Now World's Edge doesn't have as much vertical terrain as the other maps, but there are still lots of areas you can make use of Horizon's abilities. I would say her passive is one of the best, along with her tactical, when you're a solo queue player. And the main reason for this is because it allows you to maneuver, particularly through areas like Fragment, a lot faster than other legends. And again, as a solo queue, you'll often find yourself on your own at times, and this ability to get away or maneuver quickly can be really valuable. The other benefit I find with her tactical is that it's quite easy to coordinate with random teammates even if you're not speaking to them, and that's just because it's so visual and hard to miss. So more often than not, you can just throw it down when you want to use it, and your teammates will use that as a visual cue to join you in whatever you're doing. And that's why Horizon can be quite a good solo queue legend for ranked. Let's move on to 2nd place, and we've got Wraith. Yes, I know Wraith isn't really meted this season, but a fair amount of you still voted for her, and that put her in 2nd place. And I can see why you voted for her. The ability to go invulnerable and not take damage is one of the most important game-defining abilities for a solo queue player. More often than not, solo queue ranks will give you unpredictable teammates, so the ability to become invulnerable and not take damage for a little bit of time will just help you survive that little bit longer, and thus earn more RP, if you use it correctly of course. And the same goes with her portal. Plus on top of that, with World's Edge being the ranked map, I just find World's Edge has some of the best locations to use Wraith abilities to evade enemies. Just go watch Ace U if you want some evidence evidence of that. And that's why I think Wraith is a solid choice for ranked on World's Edge, despite her few little bugs this season and the fact that maybe she's not quite meta like she used to be. Before I get on to first place, I should say you can make the case for any legend being your first choice. Everyone has different preferences and you should definitely pick a legend that feels comfortable for you. For sure though, there are other legends that could be on this list, but I'm just going by what you guys have voted for in my poll. Let me throw out some honourable mentions though, because a shout out to Bloodhound, Pathfinder and Bangalore as some other solid solo queue ranked choices. Let's finish with first place, and no surprise it's Valkyrie. Now for some reason Valkyrie is just the meta this season, maybe slightly more so for pre-made teams, but still for solo queue over 50% of you voted for her as your first choice for being the best solo queue ranked legend. I think the main reasons are going to be mainly because of her movement this season and the ability to reposition. She can get you to places you didn't know you could get to. For example, check out this cool hiding place on World's Edge. Plus, as a solo queue player, she gives you abilities that work individually but also for your team. And what that means is, if you've got a good set of randoms in your solo queue ranked team, she's going to make it really easy to play as a team. But if you don't have good teammates, then you can still use her abilities really effectively for your own personal gain. As you can see here, I'm solo queuing in this ranked game and using Valkyrie's ultimate at the last minute, while risky, essentially saves my life and allows me to win the game with my teammate, despite having one of our teammates down and it being a 2v3. So overall, I think it's fair to say Valkyrie does definitely have some really great abilities as a solo queue ranked legend, and the fact that you can use her as a solo queue ranked or a team based ranked player makes her super useful this season. Anyway, those are the 5 best legends for solo queuing rank this season, as voted for by you on YouTube. Keep a lookout for my YouTube polls if you want a chance to decide what goes into these videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.